What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to jump back in and talk about Kaspa. Symbol KAS. We're going to look at the actual website and talk about what the Kaspa project is all about. And then we're going to jump in and look at the chart and talk about the second bag that I picked up. But of course, none of this is financial advice. Please keep in mind that anything I say in this video could cause you to lose all of your money, all of your wealth, and you could be living in a box on the side of the river on government cheese. All right, now that we have the legalities out of the way, how about we jump on over to mute my phone. Mute the phone. Let's jump over to the web and look at the Kaspa website, talk about the project, and then jump into the charts. Let's run on over. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. First, I will go to CoinGecko. And the address is just coingecko.com, and you look up the token. I've already got it up here, and here is Kaspa, current price 0.002998. I bought an extra, what was it, 26,000 tokens yesterday at 0.00291. And if it keeps going down, then I'll buy another load. I'm just kind of buying it as we head towards the bottom, and this is my long shot play, because it's so low in price and it has such, it's a small cap gem. It's definitely a small cap project. You see the market cap is only at 39 million. And we see a 24-hour trading volume. It's at 728,000. It's usually been at around 1 million. But this is definitely a small cap gem. And I'm hoping that I caught this thing super early. I want the next Chainlink. I want the next Cadena. I want the next whatever significant project is before it even comes out the box. So at any rate, you look it up here, and then that's where you can get the website. So I've already got it clicked up, and it'll take you to kaspa.org. And that's where we come right here to the website. And let's just look at some of the stuff of what it has here. So it says the Kaspa is the fastest open source, decentralized, and fully scalable layer 1 in the world. And I think what they're saying there is true. There are a lot of credible people that are covering Kaspa, talking about it. Chico Crypto was one of the biggest YouTubers that had brought up Kaspa. But there are others that are talking about it, and I think that this statement is true. And that's a big thing to stay right there. Okay, so it's the world's first block DAG, and that's a new twist on blockchain, and we'll see what that means in a second. A digital ledger enabling parallel blocks, okay, and instant transaction confirmation built on a robust proof of work engine. That's big. It's not proof of stake, with rapid single-second block intervals. This is on the table where I was comparing all of the different major projects in speed and what their functionality is and purpose last week when I did that Bitcoin update. All right, now here is the info about let's move this over just a little bit, about the block DAG. And this is a block DAG visualizer. Darn it, why is this tripping out on me here? And so you can see here that instead of one single line, you see that it's running in parallel where there's two going, and then sometimes it refers to one or the other side, and then there's this middle one, and there are multiple connections to previous blocks instead of a single connection, and that's what adds to the speed. Okay, so if you look at this sentence, think Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, Grin, and Kaspa. That's kind of putting them in some pretty decent company right there. The coin was fair launched. That's pretty cool, without pre-mining or any other pre-allocation of coins. So nobody got an advantage to jump in and have pre-mined coined coins and then sell them on the dump that happens right after you have an ICO. So that's what a block DAG is. If we scroll on down, it talks a little bit more about the project, and then you can read this, the Ghost DAG white paper, if you want to learn more about this Ghost DAG protocol. All right, so get in and do your due diligence and read about that, and then come back and tell me what you have learned. And then here's your key features: fastest transactions, instant confirmation, and scalability. So apparently this thing can scale infinitely, which is pretty amazing. Like Ethereum, you can't scale Ethereum, and you cannot scale Bitcoin, of course. And then it's the safety of the proof of work, which also gives you top security, but then you got speed because you're running a block DAG and not a regular blockchain. So that is all. I use the mobile wallet, as you know, that I reported on in the video where I was showing you how I bought it. I use the web mobile wallet, and I'll probably try out this desktop KDX wallet. Matter of fact, let me just open that up now so I can go back to that after we get done with this video. Now it's time to look at the chart and talk about the price movement, starting with the 24-hour. And you can bump back and forth, which is pretty nice, from a line chart to a candlestick chart here on CoinGecko, which is handy because we are not yet able to view this project on TradingView and using all of the technical indicators that are out there for us. So this is the best that we can do. So we did dip down to the 0.0027 level. I bought it like 0.00291. I think it was on this candle, or maybe it was like right up here. Yesterday, about this time, or last night is when I bought. Now, running to the 7-day, we can see an overall downtrend. And I was hoping that this would continue, and I was right. We were kind of slipping down here. We popped back up above a half a cent, which is pretty amazing. And then when Bitcoin had the big downturn, we had the same here, and it continued on, slight pause, and then the current bottom of the dip. And then I bought somewhere right here. So that is our 7-day. Let's look at the 14-day. In fact, let's clear this first and then look at the 14. Or was that the 14? Yeah, we're on the 14. Okay, so with the 14, we can see that we had a triangle formation. Right here, we had a symmetrical triangle. And we were talking about this on a previous video, the possibility of this breaking to the upside or breaking to the downside. And of course, it broke to the downside. But then it ended up with this wild movement back up, kind of just the same as what Bitcoin did when it broke out of its falling wedge. And it broke to the slight downside and then just took a rocket ship up and then took a nosedive down. And so now we have the current correction and starting what could be the beginning of a new triangle out here. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So I can't really tell much from this other than that we are probably still in a downtrend, and I'm hoping to get more opportunities to load up some more of this project. Now, this is an interesting view here on the 30-day because we can see this base level that was formed back here, and then we can kind of somewhat connect this to this current low point. It doesn't make a completely pretty line, but if you start back here with the beginning, you can see that we should have kind of a little base of action that this might end up being support. So where we may bounce up and down from here, I'm thinking we could come back down to this ascending baseline, and it might serve as support the rest of the way while we trudge through this bear market. So what I would expect to see is the possibility when Bitcoin breaks out, which it might right now run to 21,000, I would suspect that we'll get more action of like what we're seeing right now, where we could move up and then corrections could possibly bring us back down to this ascending baseline. So that's what I get out of this 30-day chart. And hopefully this is the action that we get, because not only would this provide us a great chance to buy at rock bottom prices when we touch on this baseline, it would also give us a chance to swing trade where you can get rid of some of your bag up here and take profits. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's clear that out and take it to the 90-day and the 180. And on the 90-day, we can see a little bit more clearly where we had this baseline running right here, but then we could make a bigger baseline. Let's put this one in right here. But then here's the overall baseline. This action right here would more describe, what we're looking at. So we might have a little bit of a chance of breaking down below this blue baseline based on the 90-day chart, but it will only come down to this ascending orange line. Theoretically, that's a guess. It's not a guarantee, because at any point you can always come back down to previous support and resistance zones. And we know that there is one staring at us right here that comes out right there. So if things get really, really, really ugly in the economy and everything just has a massive crash, there's a possibility that you could return back to this buy and sell zone here with the floor price of where this thing started. And I don't expect this. The probability is pretty low. And then there's your ceiling right there. I'm thinking that we stay along this line right here because the performance has been very solid up until this point. Now, last but not least, we'll do the 180-day, and you can see it again here. You've got a pretty good ascending baseline that starts from where the action had begun and shows us hanging out in space here where, which one is it going to be? Are we going to obey this baseline, or are we going to obey this baseline as support? And the chances are probably 60-40, where maybe there's a 60% shot that we stay up here, 40% chance that we violate that and come down to this ascending baseline. And then of least probability, violating this baseline and coming all the way back down, like I said, to the former support resistance zone that's made out of that initial action from way back in June. I think that's all that we can tell on this chart, because looking at the 1 year, you don't really get much better of a view. It doesn't change, and then the 1 max doesnn't change. So 180-day is the farthest out that we can go, and that's not much different than the 90-day. So that just about rounds it up for the price action. We'll just take a look at that with the line chart before we're done. And it pretty much says the same thing. So there we have it. That is the technical analysis report for Kaspa. Now let's summarize this and close it out. Okay, so in summary, looking pretty good on the action. I like the volatility of Kaspa. I like the utility of Kaspa, and I like the all of the token metrics of Kaspa. It has a higher total count, how many tokens that are in circulation, than what I'm comfortable with, but the price is super cheap. And I think that there might be a reason why they have that much in the total supply. So if Kaspa can stay active and survive this bear market, it could be a long shot gem. It could be something that might shock the world. But you've got to take chances, in my opinion, on some of these long shots in order to get 100 bagger or 1,000x bagger or something like that. Wishful thinking, and chances are highly unlikely that you can get those types of projects that early, because you just don't know who's going to survive. So that about wraps it up, and I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pros channel. I'm glad to have you here. And I've got to give a big fat shout out to my man, Carl, for the super thanks of $10. Thank you, Carl, for supporting the channel. And if you want to be like Carl and be a fantastic supporter, you can give a super thanks and help defray the cost of me producing these videos for you. So jump on in and help out if you can, and I super appreciate it ahead of time. Well, that's about all I've got for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.